so
today.
much. Thank you. Thank you so much for the warm welcome. How's everyone doing this morning? Woo! Woo! You know what? We get to do a lot of speaking engagements, but honestly, these are some of my favorite. I really love how much work we've been able to do in such a short period of time and how supportive the building trades has always been of our government and how much we've been able to support you right back and build this province together. So good morning, brothers, sisters, and friends. It's wonderful to be here with you today. And as I begin, I'd like to acknowledge that I'm speaking to you from the territories of the Lekwungen peoples, the Esquimalt and Songhees nations. And I'm so grateful that we're able to work, live, and play here. And I really think it's important that we always recognize the stewardship of these lands that they have done since time immemorial, and that we are respecting these lands as we make our lives here. I want to thank the BC Building Trades for bringing us together. When I walked into this room, I did not just see delegates to a convention. I saw electricians that keep the lights on in our hospitals. I saw ironworkers who shape the skylines of our cities. I saw crane operators who move the seemingly impossible. I saw laborers, plumbers, sheet metal workers, insulators, pipe fitters, operating engineers, the backbone of this province. This year's theme is people and projects fueling our economy. And that is not just a slogan for this convention, it's the truth. Because when economists talk about the GDP, I think about the hands that pour that concrete. When they talk about growth, I think about the apprentices that are learning their trades. And when headlines talk about mega projects, I think about the union crews who show up before sunrise and leave after dark to get the job done and get it done right. Nothing moves in this province without you. And I'm so deeply grateful and thankful for everything that you do for our province. Many of you in this room will also remember a time when your value was ignored. In the early 2000s, the government of the day decided that apprenticeship training was just red tape, that compulsory trades were inconvenient, and that standards were negotiable. They shut down ITAC, they laid off 40 apprentice advisors, they replaced real support with a call center of 3 people to serve over 15,000 apprentices. They stripped the word apprenticeship out of the system's name. Think about that.
Shame.
Shame.
They removed the very word that describes how trades have been passed down for generations from journey person to apprentice, shoulder to shoulder on real job sites. They removed compulsory certification for most trades. They told young workers, register yourself, navigate the system yourself, track your hours yourself, figure it out all by yourself. If you had a family in the trades, maybe you survived the system. If you didn't, you were left in a phone queue. Completion rates fell by more than 36%. Red Seal endorsements dropped by 27%. We lost journey persons that we never ever got back into the system. We lost skills that we desperately needed. And wages were squeezed because when you devalue certification, you devalue workers and their work. That was the right-wing ideology that believed that the lowest price is the law. But you and I in this room know better. On the job site, the law is safety. The law is quality. The law is skill. They tried to break the system. They tried to sideline union training. They tried to turn trades into a race to the bottom. But you stood firm. When the right-wing government was not supporting you, you used your membership dues to keep training, to keep mentoring, and to keep growing. And when that right-wing government was not supporting you, you kept upholding standards when that government would not. You were the wall that stood against their destruction. And because you held that line, we were able to rebuild. In 2017, when we formed government, the work began to undo the damage with former Minister of Advanced Education and Skills, Melanie Mark, getting the ball rolling. And in 2023, the then Minister of Advanced Education, Anne Kang, introduced the Skilled Trades BC Act and brought back compulsory certification for 10 trades. In 2024, we expanded compulsory certification further when Minister Baer announced the next set of compulsory trades. And in 2025, alongside Premier David Eby, MLA Darlene Rochford, and many of you that are in this room today, I had the privilege of announcing a historic $241 million investment in trades training. This investment will strengthen the foundation that you built and maintained during 14 dark years of right-wing attacks on trades training here in BC. So let's talk about where we are today. BC is entering a decade of growth. Over 100,000 job openings in the skilled trades are expected in the next decade. 40% of the federal government's priority projects are happening right here across British Columbia. Major infrastructure, clean energy, ports, and maritime expansion. Hospitals and schools. Housing at a scale that we haven't seen in over a generation. And the question is simple. Who is going to build it?
We are.
That's right. Well, will it be undertrained labor brought in to cut corners, or will it be certified, union-trained British Columbians earning family-supporting wages? And our government is very clear on what that answer is. Through the Look West Jobs and Prosperity Plan, we're investing this $241 million to double trades training funding over the next 3 years. What this means is real change on the ground. Expanded access to training seats, increasing per-seat funding, reducing wait lists in high-demand trades, and funding the expansion of skilled trade certifications, starting with tower and mobile crane operators this year. And we're making it easier for workers to move between industries as opportunities evolve. But let's strip away the policy language. This is about power and opportunity. It's about making sure that British Columbians have the skills to claim the jobs that are being created right here. It's about ensuring that when billions of dollars are invested in projects, those paychecks stay in our communities. It's about ensuring that the next generation can build a life in this province, build a home, raise a family, and retire with dignity. We are not building an economy for shareholders overseas. We are building an economy for workers right here at home. So here's the good news. This is all working. Nearly 17,000 new apprentices registered in this past year alone. We now have nearly 50,000 apprentices across our province, which is a record high. And more than 6,000 people became certified trades professionals last year. Indigenous participation in apprenticeships has grown significantly over the past decade, and Indigenous women apprentices have increased dramatically, while women in underrepresented trades have more than doubled since 2016. You're here. And more than 9,000 high school students registered in trades training programs last year. This doesn't happen by accident. It happens because unions run world-class training course centers. It happens because journey persons take the time to mentor apprentices. It happens because our government is being a true partner instead of being an obstacle to working people in our province. When government, labor, and industry pull in the same direction, the province moves forward. And we are moving. But progress means nothing if workers aren't safe. Safety has always been central to the trades. You don't cut corners, you don't gamble with lives, you don't send someone up a scaffold or into a trench without a proper training and standards, because every worker deserves to go home at the end of the day, no matter what. Certification protects workers. High standards protect workers. Strong unions protect workers. But there's another danger that we have to face, honestly: the toxic drug crisis. Construction and skilled trades workers have been hit hard. This is demanding work. It takes a toll on the body. It takes a toll on the mind. Construction and trades workers have been hit hard by this, and we know that injuries happen, and chronic pain happens, and stress builds up. Too many workers have felt that they had to carry this alone. Too many families have lost someone they've loved. And that's why we're supporting programs like the Tailgate Toolkit, practical, industry-led mental health and substance use supports right on the job site. The Lifeguard app, a virtual overdose monitoring service that can save lives. And Help Starts Here, which connects people to the care they need. But government programs are only one part of this solution. The real culture change happens on job sites. It happens when a foreperson asks, "Are you okay?" It happens when a union steward says, "We've got your back." And it happens when we treat mental health like any other safety issue. Something to address early, not once it's too late. So looking out for each other is what union solidarity is all about. So friends, BC is building. We are building homes where families will live for generations. We are building hospitals that will save lives. We are building schools where children will learn and dream. We are building clean energy projects that will power the future and our BC economy. We are building ports and transit and infrastructure that will define this century. And at the center of every single one of those projects is you. The skill in your hands, the pride in your craft, the solidarity in your unions. You don't just build structures, you build the middle class. You build opportunity, and you build stability in uncertain times. And I want to be very clear, we will not go back to deregulation and decline. We will not let apprenticeship and trades training be gutted again. We will not turn skilled trades into gig work. We will not allow standards to be sacrificed for the lowest bid. We are choosing investment over austerity. We are choosing certification over chaos. And we are choosing workers over profiteers. And we are doing it with you. The next decade will define this province. So let's make sure it's built safe. Let's make sure it's built certified by highly trained tradespeople right here in British Columbia. Let's make sure it's built union. Woo, woo. So thank you again for having me. Thank you for everything that you do. Thank you for everything that you teach, for what you build. And thank you for everything you are doing to grow our province. We couldn't do any of this without you. Thank you.
Well done, really good job. Got your binder?
Yes.
Thank you so much.